Namaste, Hamesha Khush Raho Betiya. My name is Manisha Singh. Today I am teaching you effect of freezing on principal constituents of foods in Principles of Food Preservation Technology subject under the discipline of Food and Biotechnology. Now let's start with the topic. First of all, the effect of freezing on the food components is diverse and some components are affected more than the others. Proteins can be irreversibly denatured by the freezing, whereas carbohydrates are generally more stable. Other common chemical changes that can proceed during freezing and frozen storage are lipid oxidation, enzymatic browning, flavor deterioration, and degradation of pigments and vitamins. The main goal of the freezing process is to extend the shelf life of a raw material or product beyond the achievable at the temperatures above the initial freezing point of the material. Therefore, it is important to understand the modifications that can occur during the freezing in the food components and further lead to their quality degradation. Changes that occur in foods during freezing, storage, and thawing can be both chemical and physical in nature. Various chemical, enzymatic, and physical changes are promoted as a result of the concentration of components in the unfrozen water phase within the frozen foods. For example, chemical changes such as oxidative density or oxidation of flavor components, pigments, and vitamins, whereas enzymatic reactions such as enzymatic browning or lipolytic rancidity, meats become tougher due to the protein denaturation by chemical effects and cell breakage by ice crystals. In freezing food, the objective is to promote the formation of tiny ice crystals rather than the formation of fewer but ice crystals that cause cellular damage. Ice crystal damage can lead to loss of water from the food product once it is thawed. The drip that is found in thawed strawberries or beef is due to the part of ice crystal damage to the cells, leading to the leakage of cellular fluids into the extracellular spaces and to the loss of water holding capacity of food components as a result of concentration effects. Other undesirable changes include formation of package ice and freeze dehydration, which is popularly called freezer burn and can produce unsightly food surfaces and loss of nutrients. Freezer burn is misnomer since the food does not burn in the freezer but rather takes the appearance of having been burned because of the moisture loss that occurs during the freeze dehydration. First of all, water. First constituents is water. Water is an essential constituent of most foods. It is part present in wide range, varying, for example, from 4% in milk powder up to 95% in tomato and lettuce. Water may exist in an intracellular or extracellular component in vegetable and animal products, as a dispersing medium or solvent in a variety of products, as the dispersed phase in some emulsified products such as butter and margarine, or as a minor constituents in foods and other foods. The conversion of water into ice during freezing has the advantage of fixing the tissue structure and separating the water fraction in the form of ice crystals in such a way that water is not available as a solvent or cannot take part in deterioration reactions. On the other hand, ice crystals formed during freezing can affect quality parameters such as color, texture, and flavor. Meanwhile, in the remaining unfrozen portion, the concentration of dissolved substances increases while the water activity of a product decreases. Usually, this part of water is non-freezable and therefore not available for chemical reactions as a plasticizers. The water that does not freeze is normally considered to the critical water content above which deteriorative changes may occur. Critical water is rather unusual substance having high boiling and low freezing points, high specific heat, high latent heats of fusion and vaporization, high surface tension, high polarity, and unusual density changes. The considerable difference in these densities of water and ice may result in structural damage to foods when they are frozen, being more likely in plant tissue with its rigid structure and poorly inclined aligned cells than in the muscle with its pliable consistency and the parallel arrangement of cells. Then chemical reaction of food components during freezing that affect the food quality are, for protein, it leads to denaturation and degradation of texture and functional properties, which leads to toughening and functional changes, particularly loss of protein solubility in fish, loss of protein solubility emulsifying capacity, loss of water holding capacity of meat processing, and then protein hydrolysis, lipid hydrolysis, which release of free fatty acids known to contribute to unpleasant flavors, and that leads to short chain free fatty acids giving rancid odor in dairy product, and medium chain free fatty acid caused a sweaty flavor in mutton and toughening of muscles in frozen Indian sardine. Then lipid also occurs oxidation, auto-oxidation, and enzymatic oxidation, which leads to unstable hydroperoxide breakdown to the reactive compounds and interact with other components to produce off flavors, discoloration, and toughening of muscle proteins. Off flavor shelled oysters, detection of rancid flavor in silver pomfret. Then carbohydrates hydrolysis, which leads to increase the amount of smaller molecular weight components, leads to lower melting temperature and change of the texture. And examples are sucrose hydrolysis and firmness of ice cream decreased as hydrolysis progressed. Then color pigments, one is chlorophyll, which leads to pheophytinization. Green chlorophyll forms olive brown pheophytin in the presence of acid or heat. This is seen in the greenness in Brussels sprouts, decreased stability of green color in kiwi fruit, and frozen blanched spinach had a higher amount of pheophytin than the fresh. Carotenoids leads to oxidation, and the loss of pigments causes fading of color and loss of nutritive value, which leads to loss of carotenoids in salmons. Okay, then come to the water. When water freezes at atmospheric pressure, it nearly expands 9%. The degree of expansion varies considerably owing to the following factors. First one is moisture content. Higher moisture contents produce greater changes in volume, cell arrangement, intercellular air spaces, which are common in plant tissue. These spaces can probably accommodate growing crystals and thereby minimize changes in the specimen exterior dimensions. For example, whole strawberries increase in volume by 3%, whereas coarsely ground strawberries increase by 8.2% when both are frozen to minus 20 degrees Celsius. Then concentration of solutes, high concentration reduce the freezing point and do not freeze or expand at commercial freezing temperatures. Then freezer temperature is, it determines the amount of unfrozen water and hence the degree of expansion. Crystallized components are, it includes ice, fats, and solutes which contract when they are cooled, and this reduces the volume of the food. Then proteins may undergo changes during freezing and frozen storage, primarily because of denaturation. Denaturation can be defined as a major change in the native structure that does not involve alteration of the amino acid sequences and usually involves the loss of biological activity and significant changes in some physical or functional properties such as solubility. Oxidative processes during storage can also contribute to the protein denaturation. Oxidizing agent can react with proteins via lipid and non-lipid radicals. For example, the addition of malonaldehyde, a commonly occurring product of lipid oxidation to trout myosin solutions during storage at minus 4 degrees Celsius was found to accelerate protein denaturation. Then lipids in food exhibit unique physical and chemical properties. Their composition, crystalline structure, melting properties, and ability to associate with water and other non-lipid molecules are especially important to their functional properties in many foods. During processing, storage, and handling of foods, lipids undergo complex chemical changes and react with other food constituents, producing numerous compounds, both desirable and deleterious of food quality. The process of auto-oxidation and the resulting deterioration in flavor of fats and fatty acids. Fatty foods are often described by the term rancidity. In particular, the unsaturated bonds present in all fats and oils represent the active center that, among other things, may react. In particular, the unsaturated bonds present in all fats and oils represents the active centers that, among other This reaction leads to the formation of primary, secondary, tertiary oxidation products that may make the fats or fat-containing foods unsuitable for the consumption. Lipids can degrade in frozen systems by means of hydrolysis and oxidation. Lipid oxidation is indeed one of the major causes of food spoilage. It is a great economic concern to the food industry because it leads to the development of various off flavors and off odors. Then vitamins. Freezing is considered as one of the best food preservation methods when judged on the basis of nutrient retention. However, it is well known that significant amounts of some vitamins can be lost from processing prior to the freezing, chemical degradation, and thawing. The stability of vitamins in foods is generally influenced by pH and the presence of oxygen, light, metals, reducing agents, and heat. It has been reported that for some frozen foods, such as strawberries, the total and biological active ascorbic acid remain at essentially the same level for a year or a longer if the foods are stored below minus 18 degrees Celsius. Although vitamin C losses have also been found to occur at temperatures as low as minus 23 degrees Celsius. The conversion to the partially active dehydroascorbic acid and the totally inactive 2,3-diketogluconic gulonic acid increases with increasing storage temperature. Complete conversion practically occurs in 8 months at minus 10 degrees Celsius and in less than 2 months at minus 2 degrees Celsius. Such findings were instrumental in establishing minus 18 degrees Celsius as the upper limit for frozen food storage and for using biologically active ascorbic acid as a general indicator of quality deterioration during frozen storage. Then carbohydrates and minerals. Carbohydrates occur in plant and animal tissues in many different forms and levels. In animal organisms, the main sugar is glucose and storage carbohydrate is glycogen. In milk, it is almost exclusively the disaccharide lactose. And in plant organism, approximately 75% of solid matter is carbohydrate. The total carbohydrate content can be as low as 2% of the fresh weight in some fruits or nuts, more than 30% in starchy vegetables, or over 60% in some pulses and cereals. In plants, the storage carbohydrate is starch, while the structural polysaccharide is cellulose. The nutritive value of carbohydrates is not significantly affected during handling of fresh foods and the subsequent processing and distribution of frozen foods. In general, carbohydrates are susceptible to hydrolysis during frozen storage, which can still occur at temperatures as low as minus 22 degrees Celsius. Then conclusion is freezing is a complex process involving physical and chemical changes that might greatly affect the food quality. Further, to minimize the changes in food components during freezing, it is imperative to freeze a product quickly to minus 18 degrees Celsius and store it at the same temperature throughout the cold chain. Hope you all are satisfied with this session. If you have any query, please mention it in a comment box. I will resolve them whenever we have a live session. Thank you so much for watching this video.